Hello everyone, Mike here from Magnus, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to set up the silent installation script for your Magnus server in the Syncro RMM dashboard. So to get started, make sure that you've watched the laying the groundwork video. We cover two important things that have to be set up before we can proceed with the silent installation script. So if you haven't done that yet, hit the stop button, go back, check that out, and then come and revisit this video. So let's get started. Before we begin, make sure that you've set up your username and password in your customers' accounts. This is one of the things that we covered in the first video, so you want to make sure that your customer accounts have a username and password set up in them. For this video, I have a username and password set up for all three of our testing accounts. So let's go ahead and move on to the scripts. So we're going to click on the script button. We're going to click on New Script, and let's give it a good name. I think we should call this one Magnus Silent Install. And then, as always, make sure you check that Mark as Favorite button, because like all of our scripts that we've wrote, this is definitely going to be one of your favorites as well. And then for file type, we're going to select PowerShell, because that's what the script is wrote in. We're going to run it as system, and we want the max script time to remain at 10 minutes. It won't take that long, but we just want to leave that as default. So now we have to declare two variables. The first one, we're going to click the add script variable, and we're going to call this one MBU for Magnus username. Under variable type, we're going to select platform, and then under value, we're going to search for Magnus, and we're looking for the customer custom fields option here. Okay, so here it is, customer custom field, Magnus username. We selected that one. We're going to add our second variable, and this one's going to be called MBP for Magnus password. We're going to select platform, and then just like we did for the first one, we're going to search Magnus and look for that customer custom field. Now, you should only have about two pop up, but because our system has Magnus all over it, we have quite a few more. So there it is, the customer custom field Magnus password. So we've got the variables declared that we need. Now we have to jump over to the Magnus GitHub. And if you need this link, you can contact us for it. It should be in the email that we sent over with your API username. So let me get back to the main page here. This is our GitHub. We have all of our scripts that we've wrote on it, including the README, which contains the detailed instructions, just like this video, on how to set up your scripts. So we're going to click on the silent install script for this video. And now you can copy the code from here. However, I like to click on the raw button to get the raw code. Make sure you select everything. We don't want to miss a single piece of that code. And paste it into Syncro. So now that we got that all set up, we have to do some slight editing. We try to make these scripts as easy as possible. So for this script, we have two variables that we have to set up. And you only have to modify the variables here underneath the edit server info below comment. You don't want to modify anything below this line, as it could have unintended consequences. So only modify the script below if you're experienced in PowerShell. We're not responsible for anything that happens due to a modified script, so always double check that. So for the two variables that we have to declare, we have the backup name. Now this is the name of the software that you download for your Magnus server. So for my instance, my software is named Magnus DevOps, so we're going to delete that. And if you need to know what the name of the software is, you can check the Add Remove Programs section or the icon on the desktop. That'll give you a good idea. Or you can always contact us and we can give you the exact spelling of it. And you have to make sure it's exact, otherwise it won't work properly. The next variable we're going to put in is the server URL. Now mine is devops.magnusbox.com, so we're going to go ahead and select that. Looks like I got an extra / in there. So you just need the subdomain all the way to the .com. And so just to look at this script here, what we're doing is we're checking to see if Magnus is already installed, which is where that variable Magnus DevOps for the backup name comes into play. It checks to see if it's already installed. If it is, the script errors out and goes straight to the backup software is already installed. If not, we keep moving down the line here. First, we create a temp folder on the root of your C drive. If it doesn't exist, we create it. Next, we're invoking a web request and downloading the .exe file and inputting it into that, or saving it to that temp file and calling it install_backup.exe. So next, we run a silent installation utilizing the Magnusbox username and the Magnusbox password that we pulled from the customer's account that we set up earlier. After that happens, the script stops for 60 seconds just to make sure that that installation finishes. It's usually a lot quicker than that, but we want to make sure in case it's on an older system that it's being installed on. After the 60 seconds is up, the script looks for the desktop icon and deletes it from the user's desktop on all of them. We included a wildcard in there so that way it covers if there's multiple user accounts on that endpoint. So you can always delete these 2 lines of code if you want the icon to stay there. If not, just go ahead and leave it there. So that's how this script works. And now that we're aware of that, we're going to click on the Create Script button. And that script has been successfully created. So now what we're going to do is we still have our accounts that we set up in the previous video, and as you can see here, we have 0 devices on all of them. We need to fix that, and we have 4 devices here to test. So we're going to click on the Assets and RMM tab. We have all of our devices, and as you can see, they're tied to 3 different accounts. We're going to check them all, and then go up to the top, click on Manage, Run Script, and then we're going to select our script silent install and hit the Run button. Now that should take up to 60 seconds. So with the magic of time-lapse, we're just going to wait here for a second and come back in a moment. Okay, and with video magic, we can see here that all of the devices have installed the Magnusbox software. Let's take a look here at one of our machines that we have. As we can see, the software icon is not there, but it has been successfully installed. And we're able to pull it up. So then once the software has been silently installed, you can go in and rename the devices for the billing purposes. And you can even go in and start setting up the protected items without having to log into the client's computer and interrupt their workday. So if you have any questions regarding this script or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us at support@magnusbox.com. Thank you.